can call this meeting to order. Would you like to doing attendance? I'm not sure. Lisa?
Chair Gardner,
Here?
Commissioner Rackus,
Here.
Commissioner Larson,
Here.
Committee Member, excuse me, not a planning, Committee Member, Committee Member Joseph, and Committee Member Merrill is excused, and we also have Councilmember Liaison Lewis.
Yes, here.
Good, thank you.
Hey. I don't see anybody for public comments, so I guess we can dispense with that. And on to the regular agenda. Planning our Earth Day event.
Yeah, let me give a quick update. So we've had a couple of items going forward to City Council. One, the City Council did authorize $5,000 for the Earth Day event, and they reviewed what you had discussed at your last meeting, kind of what that concept of the event would be. So the pre-event marketing and outreach includes a survey. Pre-event activities could be an environmentally themed movie. And then the main event would be around a weekend and educational booths, tables with some vendors, maybe a student competition. So all of that was authorized in concept and the $5,000. And then what we have going forward to City Council at their study session tomorrow night is the actual survey that the chair has drafted, as well as a list of possible movies that the chair has recommended. So the City Council will consider and authorize that at their meeting tomorrow night. So then we'll have a little bit more direction there, and then we can move forward with that.
That's great. So as I understand it, for today, we are discussing how we're going to implement this and authorizing a subcommittee or more subcommittees, multiple subcommittees to actually
We could establish ad hoc committees.
ad
to
hoc
work on
committees.
it.
Okay. Having organized an Earth Day event before with Janet and Elizabeth helped in the past, and Holly was part of it, I kind of developed an outline of the various steps, and I tried to simplify it as much as possible to keep it onto one double-sided page with two sides. But there are quite a few things, and some of them are relatively easy. Some of them are a little bit more creative, relatively harder. And I think we could figure out, if it's feasible to separate this into multiple subcommittees and have like tag teams of 2 working on them, or if it's really better for us, and we can discuss this, to create a single subcommittee that's authorized to meet, but which may invite some additional volunteer resident members or non-resident members, I guess it's okay, just non-committee members to help execute. So that's something we should discuss. Let me pass this out. And
You can also have multiple committee meetings, we just have to agendize those.
right, and that's
we
the
need to do it as a special meeting. It needs to be posted at least 24 hours, and we need a quorum, so we need at least 3 people. If we form an ad
Yeah,
hoc
let's try this
committee, we don't have to do the agenda, and
Right.
but that's limited to 2 members.
So I think
But
that's
then that ad hoc committee could then solicit other residents,
Yes.
other helpers,
right.
okay?
Non-committee members.
Non-committee members.
Correct.
Yeah, non-committee, but helpers.
Absolutely.
Right, which we will definitely need. So that I see today, the
You did.
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, the decisions I think we need to make today include figuring out our meeting schedule. And one of the questions I had is whether or not we can schedule like a regular weekly meeting and then decide if we need it, but have it scheduled if that's harder to do, and then cancel it if we don't need it, or if we have to, figure out maybe not every week, but maybe every other week. So those are some decisions that we should make. Creation of the subcommittees. I wasn't sure if you wanted this group to review the survey, but I neglected to print it, so.
I have a copy here.
Is it too late to make recommendations from this committee on the survey? I guess it is if it's
It
going
is,
to.
It's
because
going to
of-
council tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already been published and
Okay.
Yeah.
submitted to
Okay.
council.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll get their feedback and then we can
So-
revisit it if we need to.
Can we maybe just go straight to, kind of work backwards from the date that we might be able to have an event, and then how many meetings you might think that we need to
Right.
have? You know, because this is gonna be a crush. I mean, it really is. This is like a push.
Right.
And,
Totally agree. I
Okay.
totally agree. I think the April 23rd, 24th date is actually out because it's too soon. And that's my feeling. I'd like to open that up for discussion because it is closest, that's the weekend that's closest to Earth Day. It happens to also coincide with Passover and it coincides with my father arriving. So for me, that weekend seems crazy just in terms of that it's now less than 8 weeks, I believe.
I'm also not available that weekend.
You're not available that
I'm
weekend,
not.
right? So I know that the 23rd is the garden event, and you had said you definitely can't do it, and you're involved with the garden event. So our only option would have been the 24th. I think it's too soon, and not so much because of what we have to do, although that's a big part of it, but also because that does not. I mean, by the time we get the student challenge out to the schools, they might have 4 weeks. 5 weeks, maybe that may not be enough. So I'm thinking we should be looking at our calendars. And a big critical issue is we're now renting out the park. If I understand correctly, we need to make sure that the park is available for us. We can't just assume that we have space there. So we want to be able to use the pavilion as our base for the day. I'm assuming it's a Saturday or Sunday.
so should I go over to ask Judy?
Yeah,
we already did that.
You did?
You've looked. I asked them to look at it.
Wow, so efficient.
We've got staff. This is so great.
Yeah, this was something that I felt was critical, having failed to get the Atherton Performing Arts Center to find any night that it was available in like 2 months.
Ever.
Nothing. There's nothing available.
That's good. I'm glad it's being used.
It's not so good. It's because they have a very
Yeah.
onerous
So April 30th
document
is
with
when
Menlo
it's not
Park
available.
that gives Menlo Park
Saw
like
that.
Right, May
54
1st it is.
dates that are supposed to be during the summer that Menlo Park can use it, and they're doing it all in the spring. They have like 5 ballet troupes that are performing each
Okay,
for a
all
full
right,
week.
well, let's move
It's
on.
So do you
crazy.
want to hear availability?
Yes. Yeah.
Should we be looking at May then?
So the pavilion.
So do you look at the dates on the list? Yeah.
Okay.
May 1st,
Is okay?
yes. May 8th, May
Okay.
15th.
And
Oh,
May,
good.
May 8th is Mother's Day.
May 8th is Mother's Day, right? We could call it Mother Earth Day.
I will not be here.
You'll not be here on the 8th.
7th or 8th.
Okay.
So did you say May 14th or 15th?
Well, can you do a lot of work
The
beforehand?
1st, the 8th,
Can
and
we
the
work you
15th.
to death before?
So the Sunday.
Well,
Sundays.
It's pushed on Saturdays.
Yeah, so I'm okay with Sundays. How does the group feel about Sundays? I mean,
It's actually better for me.
it's better
I'm
for
good
me.
for Monday.
Mhm.
I'm
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sundays. So May 1 is like May Day. There's
Yeah,
some
It sounds ominous. I
it-
say go for the 15th.
ominous. No, you could say it's a May fair.
That's true.
They
It
don't
can
do
still
that.
be a
Swing in
May
the
fair
park.
on the
Don't do that
15th.
anymore? Don't do that anymore?
But it's always in the
Oh, it's
fall.
September,
It's in the fall thing.
It's okay because
Okay.
that's when the entire the
May
end of
15th
April.
work for you?
It's
These
much
2
better,
weeks
yeah.
is crazy, but
It
this
is much
fine.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. And
It gives us a little more breathing room as well.
Mm.
The 15th.
It's gonna
The
go
15th, yeah.
I think I'm
mid-May.
okay with that. Are you okay with the
I'm
15th?
okay with that because I wanted to go see my mother on the Mother's Day.
well, see, you're not
I
going to
don't-
be here.
I just don't think people are going to attend on
But
Mother's
I was
Day.
gonna work my
That's
little
very
fingers
true.
together.
I mean, even if it's kind of Mother Earth, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. So let's do the 15th. I'm perfectly. I mean, at
Okay.
this point, I'm agnostic because we have not. I checked with MA. Big Bear Dance is on the 1st, but I didn't. I don't see conflicts for the other dates. So at this point, it's looking good. What I would suggest is let's tentatively circle the 15th. Let's work towards that, and then
Reserve.
one of
We're
our
gonna reserve it.
reserve it. And one of our
All
next
times to reserve it all day.
task will be just to clear it and make sure there's nothing really bad out there that's a conflict.
Okay.
So I like that. Okay. And
who do you want to check that? Shall we all collectively check?
Let's
or-
all collectively check our
Or
sources,
different-
and
okay.
maybe we should assign, because I will go back and check MA, because I don't remember having expanded my calendar out all the way to the 15th. I was looking at the 1st and the 8th initially, and then I've since added the 15th. I think let's all check calendars for the schools. So I'll do MA, Sacred Heart, and Menlo School. Anybody want
To see if they have any events
to
happening.
see if there's any major conflicts? Can you do the middle or the lower schools that
So
you're?
that would be Laurel,
Yeah,
Encinal,
Encinal.
and who else? I know, I don't remember the middle school name.
Laurel, Encinal.
So are we including in this Selby Lane because they are in Atherton?
I think we should include
Sure.
Selby Lane for
Oh,
sure. And this is another question which may come up a little later, is deciding which schools we have to invite, because I think, so I spent some time with the principal at MA yesterday, and I kind of got a sense of what the best way to approach them is, which is to, let them know we'd like to invite their students to participate in this town challenge. She immediately said, oh, that's wonderful, it's very exciting. Here are the science teachers I think you should talk to. And this science teacher has open availability from the school district to be a revolving advisor, so he could be an advisor to the students who sign up. And I think that would be a good way, just to have a in-person meeting with some of the schools. And I'm willing to do that, some of that, or we can delegate some of that, but that way you know who to send the documents for, because I'm a little worried because of the issues that we have associated with websites, that we're not doing as much promotion as we might not get to do as much promotion.
And what ages are you including in this? I mean, grade schools, junior high, high school, or just?
Well, that's something definitely to be decided. So I do think if we want to make our list, let's talk about that, because I think because of the age, we would need to maybe create a middle school version of the challenge versus a high school and possibly a college one. So I think Menlo College should be invited, and they also, if we give them advance notice, can often have community service troops that helped us in prior Earth Day events, and we sign them up and they get community service time, which they need a certain amount of, and they can help us set up and do things. So I want to be in contact with them for sure. Menlo Atherton I've already cleared, and they're excited about this, and I know who to reach out to. Woodside High School is I think there are a lot of Atherton people who go to Woodside High School, and the town council instructed us to focus on Atherton residents, and I don't know if that means if the school is over the border by 1 block, whether that is beyond Atherton, but if there are Atherton students going there, I think we should consider including them.
We can I'll bring that up tomorrow at the study session.
Okay. I think that Woodside, being the second large public high school, would be a critical.
Well, there are Atherton residents.
A lot of Atherton residents.
I don't know the district boundaries. There's some students, I mean, you could choose, but.
Right. The school district boundaries are a mystery to me too.
Okay.
However, I do know that a lot of Atherton kids I know go to Woodside,
I know, I do too.
and I believe La Entrada, for example, is one of our middle schools that feeds into Hillview, which is a Menlo Park school, but has all the Atherton kids there. I mean, all my kids went to Hillview. So Hillview for sure, and if we're doing Hillview, we probably want La Entrada and Phillips Brooks.
Phillips Brooks.
Yeah.
Well, Hillview's middle school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we just looked them up. So Laurel's K through 12, Encinal's 3 through 5, Hillview 6 through 8, and Selby's K through 8.
Selby is K through 8?
Yeah, you just looked them up, writing down their phone numbers as you're talking.
Great. So my understanding is that there are about 10 or 15 schools that really get Atherton residents. There may be private schools or schools that are too small that we just cannot, we don't have the manpower to get to them, but the major public schools and the larger inside Atherton schools like Sacred Heart, Menlo School, Menlo College. So then the question is, you know, high school and college, I think definite. Middle school, I think, is very important. Elementary school, now that is the question, is if we invite them, is there the energy to figure out something that lower school kids can do? And maybe that's for the subcommittee. Maybe somebody in the subcommittee, I'd love to design that. You know, that would be a great thing. Right now, I'm feeling like that's a little bit.
It's a big ask.
It's a big ask because we'll be doing 2 segments of challenge and separate judging and separate whatever, and prizes and all that stuff. So it can get pretty complicated. So any thoughts from the committee as to how far down into
I
the
think we should switch to stay with junior high, high school.
junior high and high school?
Yeah.
So that's Hillview and Selby. As far as the public, and then for private, then it's Menlo's upper, and then Sacred Heart, and then Menlo.
But Menlo also has.
Menlo
junior
has a
high.
middle.
Middle.
Menlo middle and Menlo
Is it
upper.
8, 6 through.
And
12?
Hillview,
Hillview is
6
middle.
through 8, yeah.
but not Phillips Brooks.
Phillips Brooks is what age?
I think they stopped 5th grade.
Okay.
Let's see.
So we will plan some kind of kid entertainment. Maybe it's a bouncy house. Maybe it's like a animal zoo thing for the little kids. I think we can dispense.
We have a little farm, little chickens.
We could get.
Backyard chickens.
Is there a farm thing? You know of a group that would
There is a farm thing.
a farm thing? Okay.
Phillips Brooks is Kate.
I had residents here talking to me during Mayor's Hours about chickens.
They bring them.
They didn't. They don't want them.
So Phillips Brooks
How
is
old-
out then.
I guess so.
How open are we to inviting like UC Berkeley experts, Lawrence Hall of Science, anybody else, just as honorary, not guests but participants or helpers to
So-
this event, because they're not residents of Atherton, but they're from the Bay Area, and if they can help in some
Let's talk about the
intellectual or-
kinds of events that we
way-
might want to help, where we bring in
Right.
some experts into a panel. I would love to
Mhm.
get some of our
Lawrence
contacts.
Hall of Science,
Mm-hmm.
UC Berkeley Department, Civil and Environmental Engineering, different even student organizations that are working on design innovation
Mhm.
and are working the domain of sustainability, environmental issues.
Let's get back to that when we're talking about the section 4 movies or panel discussions, and
Oh,
also
okay.
the expo and fair, because there are parts of both of those where we could do outreach to a broader community and maybe schedule. I mean, we have permission, I think, from the council to have an evening or 2 of other events. One could be showing a movie, and one idea that we have is having a panel discussion, which we had in our first incarnation of this. We had a panel,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember exactly what
It
it
was
was.
that, well, and we gave out an award, didn't we?
Right, we had a whole range
Yeah.
and we even had like,
Displays, people, and
Right.
Steve Schmidt was there, and the other people, it
Well,
was
that
over at
was
the
very
pavilion.
popular.
That
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
we had a good panel discussion, and it might be, really engage the community to have a real discussion as opposed to just the fair. So I love that idea, and I think that would be something that would be great for you to work on if you wanted to think about what is the right panel to schedule. The movie is moving forward with the council, and we won't have the pack, but we can show it in the pavilion, and hopefully the week before the 15th, there's a night that we could, a night or 2 that we can reserve. Can we reserve 2 nights? Like maybe Tuesday and Thursday nights in the pavilion to have one movie showing
And one speaker.
and one panel event, like an evening 5 to 7, or I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You know, at one point, there was talk about possibly showing movies out at the ball field. Did you remember us talking
Oh, that's a
about
great
that?
idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get the big inflatable
ball.
screen.
Yeah.
Is there a big inflatable screen?
You have rented.
Yeah,
You can rent it.
don't you think
I would
that'd
love
be
to do
fun?
that.
Yeah,
I had no idea we could do
I
that.
think
That's
that's
great.
great.
Let's do that.
I do it in my backyard.
Do you really?
Yeah, with a projector.
They're,
On the
well,
wall.
yeah, you can order the big inflatable
You can
ones.
order the
They're anywhere from
inflatables.
$750 to $1,500, depending on what size you want to get.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This-
Well, let's think about that. If it's a nice night and we want to do that, I would love to do that.
Just timing, what time does it get dark?
Right, on May 15th.
Yeah, it's not too
Yeah.
dark, too.
Yeah,
Early.
it's more like 7 at that time.
Is it 7? That's not too
Well-
bad.
we could do it at 7.
We could do it at 7:30 even. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not that late.
We could have the panel discussion and then go out to the movie or have the.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
11,
It could be one
18.
night. It could be connected.
It could be connected.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry,
that's what
it's
I would
18.
rather do that.
What?
It's 8
Sunset is 8.
8 p.m.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I was
Oh, she's
before
good.
now.
I like that.
Wow, she's
Because
fast. I don't think my computer's as fast as yours.
Part of my job involves a lot of research. so
But that's sunset. That's not dark. Sunset is not really that dark.
Right.
But if we had a panel first, then we could just.
That's true. We could
Okay.
do the panel first, although my vision was movie and then discussion about it, because then people have been informed by the movie and they can say, oh, wow, is that really true? Or, what do people feel about this? So,
Well, let's see what movie gets chosen.
yes, let's see what movie gets chosen.
So
They're
are they
all
going to
bad.
preview these movies? Which one did you
All
say?
bad
She
news.
gave a summary of each movie that was very detailed. And did you write those summaries?
I
Some of them?
mostly cribbed
Yeah.
them from
Yeah.
a variety of
Okay.
reviews and
And
put them together into something coherent so that you got
they're well
enough.
done.
Mm-hmm.
enough stuff.
I cut and paste. Forward. Okay.
So,
Well, anyway, so let's kind of go down the list here a little bit.
Yeah,
We're
let's-
kind of going all over the place.
we are going a little over the place. But I think we have to finalize our list of schools.
So do you want to hear the ones that are not, that are 6 and over? Is that what you're considering? So you have Hillview. you have
So let me break them down into 2 categories. The Hillview,
is 6 through 8.
okay.
You have Selby Lane, which is K through 8.
Wait, Selby Lane is K through 8. Okay, so we'd have to,
You just go to the junior high.
yeah, okay. All right,
Menlo School is 6 through 12.
okay.
Sacred Heart is pre-K through high school. And you're done. Phillips Brooks is K through 5, so it takes them off the list.
And then there's Menlo Atherton,
And MA.
and then Woodside,
So we're going to consider both.
and
Menlo College.
Menlo College. Any other Peninsula School? What?
They stop at 8th grade.
6th through 8th. So
They would be probably the most into it.
yeah, Peninsula
Yeah,
School.
over there off of
Mhm.
Coleman.
Yeah.
There? Is
I
that,
think it's off of Coleman, yeah.
yeah.
Peninsula School 6th through 8th. Well, we are decided middle school is 6th through 8th.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
it's
part of
good.
it. I think that's a good list. Garfield.
Garfield. I don't know Garfield. Where's Garfield?
The-
And then there's
River
Flood,
City.
James Flood.
It tends to be East Menlo.
What?
Garfield's North Fair Oaks, right?
Yeah, it's North
Fair
Carolina.
Oaks.
It's right over the border,
Right.
but those are ones that I would kind of like to include just because of
Yeah.
exactly on our border and a little too much segregation for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you say Garfield and which one?
James Flood.
James Floyd.
I believe they're both middle schools, but I will check that and make sure we keep it off of the elementary. Okay. Okay, good. Trying to think am I forgetting any schools? All right, this seems to be a good list so far. We can confirm that later, but moving on.
Well, do you want to, like, agree that we're going to do that component and then pick a ad hoc committee to work on each component as we move forward, because we're gonna lose somebody in half an hour.
Okay,
So the school challenge, right? Oh, good. Okay.
okay. So the process of how to pick the subcommittee, I'm a little confused about, and maybe you can clarify. Is it better to identify each of the discrete tasks and create a subcommittee for each of those tasks, or are we going to just create subcommittees and then assign tasks after we've gone through all these? I mean, we don't want to have too many operating committees, right?
Right.
We're not like
Right.
doing her and her and then she
Yeah.
and me and,
Right.
Correct.
okay,
So you might want to group things that make sense, but I
Okay.
would just ask for volunteers based on people's interest,
okay,
and then you can appoint the ad hoc committee.
okay. So here is part of the challenge for dealing with the schools. So one of the challenges is letting them know that there's an event happening and kind of putting out the word. And the other challenge is creating the materials and getting it to them and answering their questions and being there to, or getting it to the science teacher. I have learned in the past that it's not very effective to email somebody and say, can you please distribute this? Because it just will fall through the cracks. So we kind of need to do that. So it's a little bit of a two-step process. And we have a big enough list of schools that we might want to break it up and either, well, we could have a subcommittee or we could assign it now. Is there any reason why we can't just assign some schools to
To
people?
people?
Yeah, that's fine.
We could do that.
Sure.
So that's one way we could handle it based upon, what kind of availability and interest people have.
What would be a reasonable amount of schools to assign to each person? 3?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So,
There's 10 on here.
and there's 2. Why don't we just do 2 each?
Mm-hmm. But somebody would have to kind of explain how we present it.
Yeah, that's right.
And what do we do when we
Right.
talk
And
to
since
somebody?
you've done that,
You're right.
you would have to
You'd have to kind of show us how to
show
do
us
it.
how to do it.
Teach
So,
us.
Provide everybody with a written statement.
yeah, what
Yeah.
I'll do is I've already done it. It's really very simple, and the schools tend to be very responsive, and they're very excited about it because it gives their students an opportunity to do something and get some recognition and maybe have. So one of the things I really like is I was meeting with a scientist in the last couple of weeks, and he does challenges all the time, and he got me off of the first prize, second prize, third prize, and he says, you do high honors for the really great responses, then you give honors to like the regular people, and then you give honorable mention to the ones that like didn't even cut it, but they put in a little effort. So everybody has honors, and it's a really positive way to engage students, and nobody feels like they failed. They're all high honors, or honorable mention, and that's like this, they put that on their resume. The kids love it. It's a way to engage them, and so I will write up a basic sort of outline of approach to the schools, and that is actually relatively easy. It's literally just, well, I happen to know the principal of MA, so you could call and ask if you could have a meeting with the principal, or you could call and ask who could you speak to about telling them about the Atherton event, Earth Day event, and then find that person and then let them know that it's coming, and then the delivery of the materials later could be done by somebody else even.
Okay, is there going to be a difference between the high schools and the junior high?
No,
Same.
not
challenge.
for just
Same.
alerting them.
Okay, but
But the challenges would
challenge.
be different.
The
Oh,
challenge will
yeah.
be scaled to their academic level, and that's the other reason why I have already met with a Menlo, with a high school. I think I'm gonna meet with a middle school so that I want to get feedback on the questions from the science teachers, so that that's
I have a lot of young families in my neighborhood, and many of the neighbors are full-time moms, and their children go to Sacred Heart,
Yeah.
so I
Okay.
can
You could do
take
Sacred
that.
Heart.
And maybe Menlo College, but if anybody, because I can maybe discuss some things that are on a
Okay.
higher level also.
So you're gonna do Menlo
Sac-
College and Sacred Heart,
Mhm.
which has 2 schools. You realize?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
They'd be happy to do Peninsula and Garfield.
Yay.
I'll do Menlo School because it's close to me. And I can,
Let's see, we have Menlo School, Sacred Heart,
and I could do Selby Lane.
Hillview still is on the table.
Elizabeth, I think that would be wonderful for you to do Selby. They'll be so excited to
Yeah.
have you there.
I was just there last night for the El
Mhm.
Camino Real, Selby Lane traffic
Mm.
issue intersection. So I just met the principal last night. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that would be wonderful to say we want to engage you, and
Yeah.
they'll be so happy about that.
okay.
So I did not manage to get everybody who was saying that. So what do we have left? Does anybody have the list?
We have, I do have a list. They have Hillview and have James Flood still on the list.
I'll
All right.
do Hillview.
Do you want their telephone number?
You know what? Why don't you do James Flood?
Okay.
And I'll do Hillview because I know the people there.
Okay.
My kids just
Okay.
went there, and that way I'll get a.
So Valerie's doing Hillview.
Did you confirm that James Flood
Who's
is
doing
6 through 8?
MA?
It's K3.
It's K through 8. Okay.
Would you like their number?
Yeah,
Janet.
I would love it.
Who would like what number? And I'm happy to.
I would like
Can
James
we
Flood.
just keep this meeting moving? I'm sorry, I have
Yeah.
another meeting to go to.
Tell you what. Why don't
It's
you?
amazing research.
Yeah, email.
Okay.
Email it, and that way we
That's-
can keep
so
track.
who else do you want me to do? I don't care who I got. Who?
Woodside.
So Janet, you're doing Garfield and Woodside.
No, James
James
Flood
Flood.
You're
and
doing
Woodside.
James. Okay.
Holly's doing Garfield, right?
Peninsula.
And Peninsula, and I'm doing Hillview and MA, and sending you the summary on the approach.
And who's doing Menlo School?
I am,
Oh, you are.
because I know they are.
Okay, so I think we got them all.
And who was Sacred Heart? Was
Oh,
Janeska.
Jacinka.
Jacinka.
Okay, great. Got that. Moving on. Survey, I think we can.
So I'm sorry, who's gonna design the challenge?
She is.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be one of the subcommittee's main jobs.
Okay.
That's a big job. That's a subcommittee. Let's just talk about it. I'm definitely.
Should be on that one.
I'm going to be on that one.
yes.
I've already sort of vetted some ideas with MA. I'd like to vet other ideas with Hillview and then put it together. Similar format, similar structure, different questions, kind of scaled to the right grade. The main goal, as I see it, is having really cool student interpretations and answers to these questions where, if there's 6 teams that are all answering the same question, the community will group them together, and the community will be able to look and judge them against each other. So that I think the judging would be, which is the best answer from among this group, and it will be, the community judging, and there'll be groups. So we'll have however many interpreting whichever question, and it'll be kind of cool. Yes, subcommittee for the school challenge is definitely going to take some time to design the challenge, create information for the schools. I think we need an application form for the students who want to sign up to fill it out, because there's going to be some terms and conditions or ground rules, you might think of it, that, keep it fair and make sure that they're not cheating and doing stuff like that. And we did that before. I'm going to find those files and pull those out. And then the mechanism for judging is something that just needs to be discussed.
Criteria.
Do we hand people like chit that they can use to vote on something, or do we give them a judging card? We did a whole little voting card one year, and people walked around and you know, scribbled on their card because we had enough exhibitors that we needed to track it. So we have to think about that. Who's ever on that committee. So following Lisa's approach, do I hear a volunteer to join me on the challenge committee? Oh, okay, just a second.
Woohoo.
Great. Yay!
A lot of experience.
Yay! Yay! Okay.
And do you have a target date on when you'd like to have this distributed to schools by to give students enough time to work on it? And then there's spring break somewhere.
That is so true. So,
Spring break will be around Easter time.
Which is
So
March,
before and
Which
week
is
after.
March.
26th.
Yeah, it's the end of March, either like the last week of March or the first week.
I think
in
MA
April.
should be the week of April 4th. I think.
It is, I think it is.
it starts on the 1st, that Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And then it goes around the weekend.
Easter's
And I'm not sure about the
27th
other
of
schools,
March.
you just know
Right.
that one. So how long do you think the kids need to work on the project?
So let's work back from the 15th. Can we give them 10 weeks? Do we have enough time to give them 10 weeks? Let me see if I can get up a calendar.
Well,
10. No,
All right, then we just have to work as quickly as we can.
as quickly as you can, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some strategies, right? Everybody procrastinates. You give them too much time, and
It's true.
I mean, you want to give them enough time to be thoughtful, but not too much time. Where they,
I would like to shoot for getting this is now March 1. Let's shoot for getting them information, the packets. I mean, let's do our introductions and let's just say, you know, heads up, we're going to have this great event, you know, we'd love to distribute it at the school. That's step 1. I don't think we need anything written. But let's try and do it by 3:15. Can we shoot for 3:15? So
that's 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks.
We
so
should
you
be
told
able
me.
to.
then put
I mean,
some-
how comprehensive?
Not very
Do you-
comprehensive.
okay.
Very
And
non-comprehensive.
it will be available online and through our communication with the right.
Right. Well,
Oh.
my vision would be, and this does not even, we're not even covering yet the promotion side of it and the real outside, but just an information page for the school, and then a set of application forms that may be 10 for each school. We're not going to print out a huge number, but then pointing everybody to, yes, you can go online and pull it down. And so we get the PDF to town, they post on the website. We have an information sheet that has the URL and allows people, they don't get the form, you can print it online. So we're not wasting a lot of paper. Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
we're doing the introduction by the 15th, right?
Introductions by the 15th or before?
Okay, I'm going to be gone until the 13th, so
Oh, okay.
I will have to do mine when I come back.
So which ones are you? You are,
James Flood.
James Flood and Woodside.
okay. Let me see if I can get to those, and in that time, and if I can't, then I'll say
Okay.
I didn't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that's the challenge. We probably will want to, as a subcommittee, reconvene with the committee to talk about judging and other things, but we can
And
try
prizes.
and put
Come back
and
on
prizes.
that.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds good.
Movie panel discussion. Jasenka, you said you wanted to work on the panel. Is that what I heard?
I can work on a panel. I thought maybe I can talk to some student groups and graduate students and see if if they want to mentor or if they want to comment or if necessary anyone if there's need. But I can see if anyone from Lawrence Hall of Science can come
So
or
let's,
Well, there's
as part
also
of our
Stanford.
challenge, as we're putting together a school challenge, let's see if we can come up with a topic that we'd like to have a panel on as part of that subcommittee, and then we'll see, because you have contacts and I have a lot of contacts too,
Mhm.
so maybe we will kind of relate the panel to the topic of the school challenge, so it'll be of interest,
mhm.
okay?
I think that's that.
Does that make
first step.
sense?
I think that's the first step.
Okay,
Maybe even with the movie related to any of the topics you have in mind.
they're all related,
Okay.
it's all related.
Because I haven't seen them, it's just a big black box.
It's a big black box. I mean, I would have sent them to everybody, but
I understand.
I got, okay.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to do that. Can't do that. But if
Okay.
you go online, it's public, because it's a public document online, and, the first, the second item on the agenda for tomorrow is this, I mean, it's all public knowledge. I mean,
Yeah,
we
so
could
it's
even talk about it, couldn't we?
Pandora's Promise, Merchants of Doubt, Racing Extinction, This Changes Everything, Tapped, Bitter 70, Cowspiracy.
Yeah, and then she,
That's my least favorite one.
Who's
she
at the
wrote,
bottom?
up,
There's a summary of each.
summaries of each one, okay? And it's all online, you can read it, and then the survey is also here,
Yes.
okay? That's gonna be discussed and tomorrow, okay?
Okay, moving on, so that's first page, we're halfway done.
Perfect.
Okay.
Parameters of the event. Big! No.
So parameters in the sense of date, time, you know, the pieces that we want to put together, they're all basically listed there. So,
So you don't think that we could do all of this in one day and evening?
all of what?
The
Whole
expo
event.
and fair and the movie and the panel?
On one night?
No, during the day, the expo and fair,
Right, and then at night, the movie.
and the panel.
I suppose it's possible, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I seem to remember completely being.
But it's a lot of
Oh,
work
wow,
for
yeah.
2 days, so this would just.
I'm just throwing it out there, I just, wanna
Let's consider it,
talk about
let's, I mean, we haven't found the date yet for the panel or the movie, so let's
Right.
keep it in mind and maybe it would work.
But we're talking about the 15th, or the 14th and the 15th, right? Or just the 15th?
The 15th right now,
Yeah.
Just the 15th,
and, but that's a Sunday night
or a Sunday day.
or Sunday day, and could we do the movie on the same night? I guess we could, I mean, don't you think people who are out all day don't wanna come and also
Do
be
you think
there?
it'd be a different set of
People?
Yeah.
I think it would be actually,
Mhm.
probably. And then I'm just thinking you're gonna have students and other things during the day most likely.
For that, maybe
Yeah.
Saturday night would be a better slot.
Yeah, if it's available, that's the
If it's
thing.
available. No,
No, it
No.
need to be a weeknight, right?
not even at the
Yeah.
park.
I'm sorry,
Well,
what
we can't have a big movie playing because
mini,
it's probably
yeah.
a wedding going on a Saturday,
Oh, all night.
that
All
weekend,
night.
especially in May.
How
Do you
about
think that-
It's likely a wedding, but I could double check.
how about
It is,
But it's available.
Whether it's a wedding or
Sunday.
It's available on Sunday,
On the 15th.
but we don't know about the 14th.
it's not available.
not
on the
available.
14th yet.
Oh, it's not
We just
available.
don't know what it's
Oh,
for.
okay. We
What
don't-
about the
Valerie? Can any of the
13th.
schools
What?
host it?
Yeah,
Can
I'm
any
sure
of the
it's available.
schools host it?
During a weeknight. We haven't
Host what?
checked yet.
Oh,
The movie and the
night
panel.
and the panel.
You know what? That is a really good question. I will recheck the pack
Maybe in May
for
or
the 15th, which I don't remember doing, but
Who's hosting it?
I think we could look at the
Numerous venues.
14th and 13th at the pack and see. I don't remember if I went
So,
that far out.
Whoever's calling Sacred Heart and Menlo, they have really nice theaters.
Yes,
Oh,
they do.
yes.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
great idea, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe you could see their availability or
I-
interest,
Yeah.
That would be
because
good.
you thought the other facility was full, right?
Pack is full. At least that, you know what, I'm not remembering if I looked as far
Oh,
out
that
as
far
the
out,
15th,
yeah.
because I was looking for specific weeks.
Ask
and-
Menlo School about using their facility.
For a movie showing.
Who has a relationship with
Menlo
Yeah.
School?
Menlo School?
I do.
Do you?
Dan McNeely.
Sort of a-
He's such a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
So I haven't dealt with him since the last Earth Day, so my relationship is really stale, so that would be great if
Oh,
you
he's
could
new
check.
Well,
since
he's
then.
new,
Oh, is he new?
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's why I don't recognize the name.
right.
That's
Yeah.
why it's stale. Okay, he's new, okay, good.
They might be up for that.
That would be good to see if there's any availability, if we could reserve it and what night. I think the 15th is not a good night just because it's a Sunday night. They'll have spent a lot of time with us already. I'd like to get a night when people are fresh and we can serve some refreshments, we have a discussion, and it's,
Okay, so
Like a
What-
Thursday night. or
what
something.
night for the movie?
I would say anywhere from Tuesday to Friday of the week
Right.
before.
Well,
I think Saturday nights people are very, have their plans.
I even think Friday night people.
I think-
I'd say Tuesday through Thursday. You might have a crack.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
sounds
I
good.
think May 11th looks good.
Monday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
May 11th.
Oh,
Because
I'm on the wrong one, sorry.
May,
Yes. Gotcha.
right?
Mhm.
then target
Yeah.
a larger school.
If we target a
that
larger
is- that is also having older students,
I'm sorry?
with older students.
Yeah,
High
like a
school.
high school.
Yeah,
yeah.
because that would be potentially your audience.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Right. But I'd like to get a place that's large enough that we could get a pretty good sized crowd in, which
Well-
Pavilion gets tight, so that's much better if we can seat, MA's pack seats almost 500.
Mm-hmm.
So are there auditoriums that are that big?
I don't know how big they are at Sacred Heart and Menlo, but
Yeah, can
Well,
I?
Menlo hosts
Pretty big.
music at Menlo.
Yeah, I think
it's
they're pretty
I
big.
don't think it's 500.
Music at Menlo's in a small room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stent Hall and, and then I think that they'd have to vet the movie. They'd have to agree to the movie. So I won't call them.
well, we'll know what it is.
That'll work.
Well, if the Atherton Council approves it, then it's
We're so hard.
Yep.
probably. Okay,
Good.
that's there. So,
Sorry, Valerie. Should we check on other schools
Yeah.
also?
if you
Okay.
if you have a connection to another school, I think the only
Yeah,
ones that are
Sacred Heart.
likely would be Menlo College, Menlo School, or Sacred Heart. I
Yes.
think those are the only ones that would have.
Agree. The others are gonna be too small.
Yeah. I don't think the New Hillview has a big performance. They don't. Okay. So the expo and fair is a complicated thing, but it's not too hard. I think this is going to be one where we need to have a subcommittee with some volunteers to help distribute materials, help with setup. One of the questions I have is coordinating some of the information that we want to give to sponsors and vendors and or companies that want to exhibit, and how to interface between what we're doing and the town website. So this is where, if somebody's going to be a sponsor of this event, they want their logo shown. Is that going to be feasible on the town website?
Yes,
Yes.
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 And we can get sponsors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
So I
can
think
raise money.
Mm-hmm.
we can raise. We were approved for that,
We
right?
approved it, raise money.
Mhm.
It's gotta go to the town.
Town.
Right.
And then the town distributes the money.
Right. And the town writes the thank you and says, "Thank you for your contribution. This is tax deductible."
Yeah, and the mayor signs the letter.
Yes. Okay. Good.
I'm sending
Saves
out
the
the letters.
step.
I need to sign that other letter. The one that you just made for me.
You can stand.
Is there a standard procedure for approaching potential sponsors? Anything agreed?
Good question. There's going to be I'll do the same thing. I think what I'll do is I have a list of obvious suspects to approach. PG&E, and it's Recology, right? Is our current
Recology.
PG&E, Recology, Cal Water, some of the standards. But why don't I do a same thing as I did for approaching the school? Why don't I do a little summary of the approach, and get that to everybody. So if you have an idea for somebody who might like to be a sponsor, there's sort of a standardized, it's like gold sponsor, silver, some or whatever, but I'll figure that out. So let me send a summary of the sponsorship thing, and then typically the sponsors are groups that might be interested in exhibiting. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, raising money, but also helping to build our expo and get interesting information. So like if any of your smart materials contacts were interested in being an exhibitor, they could be a sponsor, have their logo on. Maybe we'll have a banner that we print, and there'll be a website. Maybe we'll have a little printed program for the event, and they could be on that. So those are the 3 ways that I can think of promoting them, but then they get this Atherton community to come to their table and see their stuff. So let me do a standard summary of sponsorship things, and then everybody can do outreach to the groups that they know. I can't imagine having more exhibitors than we can fit, so at this point I'm not worried about limiting them, except quality groups and companies.
So let me just put my head around this. We're going to do this at the pavilion, at the park, the exhibitors.
No,
right?
exhibitors out in the field.
Out in the field.
Yes.
Out in the field or around the
Then
pavilion.
you have to have umbrellas for every table.
What?
You have to have umbrellas for every table.
So, but if we
What?
have it in the patio area, but the patio area is a little,
Small.
Smaller, but
That's small.
yeah.
So this is something that happened.
See if there's any sport
We
events.
had a pretty big group of exhibitors, and I remember Kathy Anderson and I traipsed all over and tried to figure out what's the best place for them. And a lot of them bring their own tents,
Yeah.
and they have, we give them the
Don't
table.
we have those pop-up
we
tents?
have pop-up tents.
How many
How many
pop-up
do we
tents?
have?
I believe we have 8.
That's good.
And I had
But-
like 2.
That's
So
good.
But,
start.
if we charged them for booth space,
yes.
we could include the rental of a pop-up tent
More.
in that, and so we could, make it uniform. You see, so the fee for the booth space would include a pop-up tent, and
Or they could option to
bring
rent it.
Yeah,
So you could have one fee for just the table and one for table and
tent.
tent. And I think I want to do table fee, tent, which I hadn't thought about, and power. Because some want power and some don't want power, and there's work from the staff that needs to be done to get them power. So maybe 3-tier of service.
So talk to me
How
about,
about these
Go ahead.
panels that you use for displaying
Display
posters?
They
or,
bring their own.
billboard? They bring their own. Okay.
If they want to have it 3-dimensional, they have to bring their own exhibit stuff. Some of them have already made them.
how many are we envisioning? Are we envisioning 10, 15, 20, 100?
We had last time 6 or 8.
There were 30 to 40 exhibitors.
The one that we did in the gymnasium?
Not the gymnasium.
That was huge. That was
the
bigger.
first. So what was the gymnasium one? The
That was
first
the little
outdoor
group.
one, I seem to remember I had 30.
Little kids and stuff.
3 or 5, 35 tables set up on the outside. In the gym, there was a definite maximum because I lined them all around the wall.
Yeah.
And I think it was about the same number actually.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Wow, it seemed much more than, I was dazzled. But
Mm.
I was.
But I think because we have expansion room in the park that we don't need to worry about them. It is a setup issue, and we're going to need to walk around and see what the layout will be. But then you put the food somewhere near them, or you put the students, and then people. I'd love to have the students sort of in the center and the exhibitors around them. Would be my.
For the most part, people would prefer, I think, to be on a hard surface rather than on grass. And if we're talking about renting the pavilion, there might be something going on in the main house, right?
Could be.
Are we talking about, taking over the entire park?
Yeah, I think we need the entire park because we're going to need all the parking. We're going to need all the exhibitors are going to come with their cars and the visitors. I think we have to
I know lacrosse runs on weekends, so I'm checking with Judy right now to
About
see
the
if
local, okay,
they're
okay,
running that day.
yeah.
And what about Little League?
May 15th?
Yeah, they run through June. I just don't know if they play on Sundays, so we'll have to find that out as well.
Can you check that?
Yeah.
The
That'd be great.
North Meadow Carriage House is not available on the 15th.
So
North-
that means there's something
North
going on.
Meadow
There's already
Carriage
something
House.
going on.
Well,
So we need to
The
find
North
out what
Meadow
that is.
and
Yeah.
the carriage house
Yeah, the
is,
North
is
Meadow.
unavailable. That
Oh.
means somebody's using both.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's not good.
right. But see, when we did the disaster event,
Yeah, that worked out nicely.
and it was inside the pavilion, and we had a movie,
And we had booths
And we had
outside
booths
on the patio,
on
and
the
then we had booths even outside in the driveway or the parking lot.
yeah,
We set some up there as well.
and kind of over
We
where the
blocked off
rose
parking.
garden is.
Right.
Was it on that side too,
There
or
was a
not so much?
barbecue bus over
Oh,
there.
that was the barbecue.
How many exhibitors were there?
15,
Yeah,
25? So
Oh,
that's,
yeah,
I
you
mean,
used the parking area, that's
Yeah.
right.
Cal Water brought their big
They had a big,
walking
yeah, like bus van thing you walk
yeah.
through.
emergency vehicles.
we're not gonna do that again this year, right? The disaster thing?
No.
Okay, so we'll tell them that this is the time for them to, you know,
Show that off, yeah.
show off what they're doing, because we're not having the disaster preparedness thing.
Yeah, I was thinking we would invite disaster preparedness
good.
group or
Mhm.
committee.
Yeah,
Well, we'll get a little more information on what else is going on,
Yeah.
and then we can report back at the next meeting.
what about the event garden? Can we encroach in that? Since we're having an event?
I'd like to
Little
have the
grassy area right there.
whole park if we can, because things will spread out, and if you get, like we had garden club selling little seedlings, I think it was the Encinal Garden Club sold
Yeah.
things, we got a request, can they sell their little tomato plants?
You probably have that whole front grassy area where we have National Night Out. That's a lot of space as well.
The
Yeah,
grass
if we
area in front would be
needed it.
nice.
That, yeah,
I just don't think we really need the playing fields.
not the
That's
playing
just a lot
fields.
of, that's a lot
So
of
maybe
grass.
the grass area in front, which is pretty flat,
The main house.
the main house patio,
And
the pavilion patio,
Yeah,
and then if we have to, we can expand onto the driveway. I mean, we could have the exhibitors just looped on the driveway.
Which, oh, well, I don't know.
But we can think about that, that's
The
something to
problem is, I
decide
think
later.
if you have it too spread out, then people get lost. And it depends upon, I mean, it's not like that Comcast.
The layout is gonna,
It's not like Comcast.
we'll let,
We can bring a map and
Yes.
figure out what else is going on.
Yes.
As I saw here, at this point, maybe it's good to involve the committee on parks and recreation, because they know how, you know, a park operates and what area
Yeah,
might be.
we don't
No?
wanna
I
get
don't
Park
think-
and Rec involved.
I think
Oh,
that,
okay.
I think,
Isn't
We'll
that-
bring a
I
map
read
and
that,
we'll do some.
We'll get Steve
sketching.
Tyler. We'll
Yes,
get Steve
yeah,
bring
Tyler.
Tyler. There you go. Done.
We'll get Tyler. And I think that's who you're talking about, our director of parks.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
not the commission,
committee.
not the
Okay,
committee.
Not the committee.
Agree.
Sorry,
Although
I
we
read
love
that
those guys.
here, so I'm only
okay,
saying.
Okay,
so,
Where is that?
so we're gonna share some of the work of enlisting exhibitors. We probably need to get the subcommittee that's gonna work on this to figure out the food and drink and entertainment, like if we're gonna get Menlo Atherton Band, which is, I can actually check on that. Cause I know the band leader. Wi-Fi, sound, power, we have to think about. The
the
committee,
National Night Out guy, I mean, he was great with
Yeah.
the music.
yeah, he is. We
National
can certainly ask him if he's available. He works for our park vendor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you ask about that, Teresa?
Isn't that on the fair? I mean, this is gonna be our major budget too.
what?
This is gonna cost probably the most, yes?
Yes.
That may also raise some with the sponsors.
Right,
Yeah.
we're gonna help to offset extra costs with our sponsors.
Is that what you want as a full-on DJ, like we did last time? Cause
I
Probably
want it
not, no.
full-on DJ, it's not a
Is
dance.
that what he did?
yeah,
Oh, okay,
No, it's not a dance.
okay.
We just need to rent a sound system, I think.
we have
We have it?
that, yeah.
We have a sound
Okay.
system,
Yeah.
so, I mean, I do think we will want to invite some elected representatives and candidates to schmooze and work the crowd.
I can work with Tesla.
Tesla?
Oh, wonderful.
Do you have a connection?
Yeah, I can work with. Let me think about a list of
I know the
more
VP of
representative.
production, so I could get to him, but
We could invite all of the Tesla owners in Atherton to come and showcase their cars.
well, what I want to do is I want to, maybe what we can do is think about what we want. I'd love to have Tesla come and do something special.
Let's see.
I don't know what they
Let's-
might think
yeah.
about doing, but let's propose them. They have a few months to think about it. Maybe they want to demo a prototype. Maybe they want to talk about their
X-Wing.
headless drivers or whatever they have. I don't know. But,
Actually, that's Google.
huh?
Google.
Oh yeah.
Driving,
But no,
yeah.
but the Teslas
Well, Teslas
don't
also, yeah.
Tesla's cars drive themselves.
Sort of.
Yeah, but
Semi.
yeah,
Semi. It's coming.
But Google.
Anyway, I think approaching them would be a really interesting thing to give them an option. They
Are
did
you kidding me?
what?
What happened?
Teresa's not available that day.
But Judy would, I'm sure Judy will be, so.
My backbone.
Why aren't you available that day?
I'm out of town till that Wednesday. But Judy knows all that stuff, so.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading through the
Okay.
lists and
Yeah. I think
see where I can
let's talk
contribute.
about brainstorming how to approach Tesla.
Well, yeah.
So do we want to have a separate subcommittee for the Expo and Fair? Does everybody want to, actually, I'd like to talk about the marketing and promotion, because that's where I think we really need,
That needs to be done first.
we need to get some of that word out and start doing some of that work too. Administration and management is actually, I think, gonna happen further on, as we move along.
So Valerie, I think that you're the driving force in this marketing promotion, and I think what you need to do is pick somebody to work with you on one or two of these things.
Okay, Holly.
Okay.
Will you work with me on marketing and promotion?
Okay.
Okay, and then just, get other people as you need.
Right,
to
and we
work
can
on
put
it.
together a bigger subcommittee for that, so,
And I can help you with promoting as well.
good.
Yeah,
Course, through
and
our
the town
avenues.
has said that they will send out,
Nextdoor, Facebook, Twitter.
so involve Teresa in some of your initial meetings so that she can, help let you know, and then feed whatever kind of website information
Yeah.
that you've got to George and make him sit in with your meeting, and he can help put
Okay.
it on the, or do you put all that on the
I can do that.
website? You
Yeah,
can
I
do
can
that,
do that.
oh, okay.
All right,
And as a sidebar, let's meet sooner versus later, because the last 2 weeks of this month I'm gone. I'm out of the country gone.
Ooh, nice.
I might be too, actually, so, I mean,
So I'm just like, let's see how we can crank out and run.
I'm gonna be gone.
Because I think it also will drive everything else.
right.
Not this year.
Yeah. So, I have a question in terms of, let's say it turns out we have a conflict with the carriage house and the North Lawn right now. If we decide the 15th isn't good, how do we reconvene to decide a new date if it turns
Send the information to
Well, no,
her.
I'm gonna let you know what the conflicts are, but when do you wanna meet again?
Well,
We can
but
pick a meeting soon
setting
before you
setting
go.
meeting dates and stuff is not a Brown Act, okay? If
Right.
we funnel it through there, she can send out meeting notices and we can respond.
Mhm.
That's not a Brown Act.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. I mean, we can do that through email.
can she send out a message that says 15th not as good as
Yes. Yes.
22nd? Can we push it back a week or
Let
something?
me know your availability.
Let me know your
Right.
availability because, let me know your availability because we cannot wait. I mean, the information to the schools is going to
Right.
need to have the date
Can-
on it.
Reassure her. She's.
Can we set up? I can set up
a doodle or something, or just? I
We'll-
mean,
we'll
there's
take
just
care
a
of
few of
Oh,
us.
Let us do that
Yeah.
part so you guys
Okay,
don't get in
great.
trouble.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, and they know how to do it.
Should be in trouble.
and it just kind of, they're, yeah.
For our free job. Yeah, just wanna say for our free
Right,
job.
yeah.
You know, getting into trouble sometimes has its benefits, what can I say?
Yeah, but no, I appreciate the
Yeah.
caution.
Okay, all right,
We'll
that's the only
find
thing
out
I'm
what
really
it
worrying
is.
about.
Okay, if
With
you
the
can
events.
do it, I am leaving tomorrow and I'm
Okay.
gonna be gone for a week and I am not gonna have internet
Nice.
access.
Sounds good.
Good for you.
You know? Okay.
So,
Okay,
We'll all have to go with the majority I hear.
okay, perfect.
all right, but I do think that there's a
And that's the
little,
quorum,
little
right.
flex in the
Right.
date if we don't have, I'm worrying about conflicts in the park, so, okay,
15 sounds generally okay.
yeah,
And
We'll
if
find out
it's
what the
even
other
smaller, it may
event
not
is.
always be bad. Sometimes it feels more energetic when you're in a
if
smaller
it's like
space.
if it's a
super
birthday
spread out.
party and they're gonna have 30 people, I'm not worrying about that, cause
Yeah.
that's like 10 cars. If it's
Corporate event.
a corporate event and they're having 200 people, that's a bigger problem.
How many people came for 2020 at the end of the day? Do you know?
Oh, that was a pretty good turnout,
It was
but
pretty well attended.
I don't
I
remember
mean,
that.
especially for
we
here.
only had the soft launch. We never got the hard launch. That's unfortunate. So
Was
we
it in
have a
May
Jasenka
also?
Valerie subcommittee. We have a Holly marketing subcommittee. Anybody seeing something else that we should do yet another subcommittee for at this point? Well, Janet's away for a little while, so.
Supervisor Hope.
I was wondering if you wanted to meet again on the 15th before we lose the two of you, to just to regroup, or do you want to meet later?
Yeah, let's.
March
Is that
15th,
is that
it's
2 weeks? Yeah, let's do that. Let's
What
put
do
a
you think?
2-week meeting on the
Does this
calendar.
time work or another time?
This time is good for me. Exact time.
How's everybody else?
It's fine for me.
4? Do you have somebody else's birthday?
I
No,
don't.
I don't, but I do have an 11-year-old. So.
Bring the 11-year-old. We could use some help.
Okay.
So Lisa will be meeting over there that day, cause this room's
This
taken.
room's full. Okay.
Okay.
That's
It's
fine, right?
taken from 4 to 5:30.
Okay.
4?
Does that work? 4
Yeah.
o'clock?
I
Yeah.
double check, hold on.
The conference room over at town hall.
We'll be meeting at town hall then.
You said the 15th?
15th?
It's okay.
Valerie, that work for you?
I'm trying to pull up my
Okay.
calendar too.
Isn't that Beware the Eyes of March?
Ooh. You always know these things.
So then we can see how you guys are doing on the school challenge.
Right. That would be good.
And Valerie, when you send out your board of this list, I can also send everyone the.
You're gonna send
Tell the
everything to me.
numbers.
Send everything to me.
Okay. All right.
Send it all to me. And then I'll send it out to everybody.
All right. I've got my calendar. Yes.
Yes?
My dad has left the day before. Perfect.
Oh,
Oh,
You
okay,
could've
so
brought 'em.
March 15th.
March 15th is good.
Okay.
And then we look
Let's
now
do
in
that.
May.
So you want wine at the dinner? I mean,
Sounds good.
May 15th. Let's see what I have. Oh, yay.
Yeah, the ad hoc committee, talk as much as the two of you want. Don't
Okay.
chat with anyone else. And if you need to communicate, email me and I'll send it to everybody.
Are we allowed to have one of these Google shared folders or shared documents where, no?
The two of you can.
It's hard to.
Don't
That is
involve anybody
hosted
else.
on, that is hosted on the town's website, no?
No, the Google shared document.
So,
No, I don't think so. I mean, the public would have to be able to look at it
Yeah,
while you're editing it. Playing
yeah,
with it.
that would.
It's just messy.
They'd have to be noticed.
But the two of you could talk as much as you want. Elizabeth, we were talking about March
dates. I mean,
15th
time.
at
If-
4 for our next meeting.
March 15th.
It's in 2 weeks.
4 o'clock.
Okay, 1 second.
It's good for me.
Sure, yeah.
That way we can check back in and see how everybody's doing.
Right. And what about the summaries that I've said I will do? I am going to write a summary to kind of just have some points for the outreach to the schools, and then I'm going to have the summary of the sponsorship opportunity.
You
To
email
you.
it to me.
And then what are you gonna do with it?
An email to
Distribute
everybody.
to everyone.
Email it to everybody, okay.
And
So,
then nobody responds.
Don't that's why I BCC y'all.
Yeah.
You should be able to respond.
Yeah, you can't respond to anybody else. You could
Respond
respond
to
to
me.
her.
Okay.
and what do we need to do to be able to get you stuff for the website? And how much, I mean, like, designing pages and text and also outreach. So the outreach, yes, Twitter, yes,
Next door.
Nextdoor, but also we probably want to send have it be in one of George's reports that there's going to be an event, so
Yeah.
And
people
the
go
weekly,
reading the
you know,
reports and the weekly
Friday,
thing.
weekly email.
And then also we
Yeah, we
might
could
want to
just
do a
save the
printed
date and-
postcard to say we're having this nice event, and should be a 4-color printed nice
Do you know
job.
how much those cost to print and mail?
Yes.
A postcard, yeah,
A
about
lot.
$7.50, and then on top of that,
For postage.
postage. So yeah, about
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I'd like to, use some of our expense to reach everybody, and I think we want to have the link to the survey on it unless we're going to actually send out a physical survey, which I don't think we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that would be too costly.
So a link on the postcard, but there'll be, when we're ready to announce the event, it should go out with the survey, and so I want to design that with you. So are you the right one to?
Yeah. So when you say design, you talk about the website, because we don't have like a great number of design opportunities on our website.
I
We've
know.
seen it, so
I know.
But you link to it, right?
link
Page
to
you can link documents.
documents.
Can you link to documents, or can you link to a page?
Documents.
Well, what page? We just linking to some other vendor's page?
Linking, like, well, the survey will be like it's SurveyMonkey.
Right.
But but what I want to do is I want to design the page that's going to have information about this, so that it's organized, so that sponsors can find their stuff and schools can find their
Yeah.
stuff.
So it's really just information.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just
so,
information.
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, all right. Time, event, for the event. Starting at 10, set up 9 to 10, event starts at 10, event starts at 11, goes till 4, have an hour. I seem to remember there was like, you want to have breakdown between 4 and 5 for the staff time issues.
I think 11. I think 10 is too early for the event
Set up
to
10 to
start.
11, start event 11 to 4.
Do you want to
Breakdown.
have food and beverages?
There's
Yeah.
going to be food.
We want to
Yeah.
have some food and beverage. Not a lot,
Organic,
but
local, sustainable.
hopefully.
Maybe a food truck.
A food truck. yeah.
Food truck, or we had Menlo College
Milk.
cater for us, and they designed a very low cost selection of brownies and stuff, and made some delicious desserts for our event.
I bet we could get a food truck.
Lunch.
Mhm.
How
Yeah.
about lunch? Yeah.
Is one food truck enough, though, is the question. I mean,
Yeah.
we'd want to have a series of them,
But
but
it's nice to have options.
options.
It's a
Two
holiday.
different- might
Do
actually get more
pay
people
for this, or
coming.
we're paying
Yeah.
for this?
We
Food-
paid for it.
You
At
We did at the disaster event. Yes.
we paid for it,
Yes.
right?
Really?
Really?
No? Did we
Wait,
pay for
No,
it?
we didn't.
I think
no, we did
individual
not.
people paid for it.
Food
Joe paid
trucks.
for it.
Yes.
Food trucks, don't they show up and then you buy your food from them?
Yes.
And so they don't
another-
charge you.
Except,
Sorry,
except
that's-
at the Easter egg hunt, the frozen yogurt truck, I sponsored it, and then they gave away free yogurt to the kids.
Okay. That's
At
what it
Oh,
was.
that's nice.
another event I put on, it was a building showcase in another community. We charged for the food truck to show up, but they didn't make enough, so they
Right.
wouldn't come back next year.
Right.
So I would rather have them come free the
Oh.
first year, and then if we're successful, we could charge the next year.
Yeah,
You mean charge them to pay you to be there to sell their food?
Yeah, it's going to cost you $500 for a spot to sell your food.
Oh.
like the vendors,
Like, yeah.
like,
All right, well, you know what?
So I'm thinking the first year maybe it's
I
free
would
'cause it's
rather-
kind of a draw too.
I'd rather
Yeah.
try and not do the food truck thing, because I think it's a huge distraction and there's lines and they're kind of annoying. I'd rather have us do something a little more like, maybe we pay $500 and Menlo
Organic or
and,
something.
and Menlo helps but we can charge more and make money. I mean, there's also
could do
lots of
the
options.
farmer's market.
We could do a farmer's market. Yeah. Wow.
That's
Oh.
a good
But
idea.
it's,
What an
that's
interesting
work
idea.
again.
That's
I
true.
mean, if you
It's a
get
lot of
food
work.
trucks,
You have to
the
bring
food truck.
All right, so Janet, how about you and I have a subcommittee talk about food and entertainment? And we can talk about it later, when you get back. Okay,
I wrote
last
a denial
subcommittee.
letter to a farmer's market a couple of years ago because nobody wanted it.
I want a farmer's market.
Well, yeah,
Mr. Widmer wants a farmer's market.
if they sell wine there.
Can we have wine?
Can we?
We're having wine at our Civic Center event.
Yes, that's right.
Organic wine.
Organic wine.
Sorry. You're awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so Janet and I are going to be talking food and entertainment, subcommittee. So, Lisa, okay, so you know,
Thank you.
He's going to Harvard people.
but not this week or next week when she gets back.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's not super urgent.
okay,
Food and entertainment.
all right.
When are you gone?
I'm gone a lot, actually. I have a
We're
lot of
allowed
travel.
to send each other calendars without breaking the Brown Act, right?
2 people.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Send
the
it
2
to
of
her.
you.
But if you,
If you want to send a calendar to everybody, send it to
I
me.
understand now. I'm just saying.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's silly.
Luckily, we're moving it out, but I'm supposed to be traveling.
okay,
Okay,
let's go.
let's move on.
We're good.
Meeting adjourned.
Are we done?
Are we done?
What do you think?
We have 3 subcommittees, is that what I understand now?
Yes.
Yes, I think that's perfect. We'll cover everything. Okay,
This is great.
we're good.